All right. Hello. I am very, very, very pleased because I today get to talk to Raul III and Laura De La Cruz about their two fantastic 2026 books that are out. And before I go any further, I just want to give full attention and praise to these books. Laura, you're releasing Lowrider for sale with Disney Hyperion, and Raul, you're coming out with My Father, Mi Padre, which is this. It is I think it legitimately is my favorite board book of the year, and that is saying something. I read a lot of board books. So before we talk about anything else, tell us a bit about where these books came from. Like, what are their origin stories? Either of you can begin.
Well, so mine is the fourth board book in the Coco Rocho books, and the one that we released last year was my mother, and so it just made sense to do a Coco Rocho, my father, mi padre, and honestly, working on this book was kind of like going down memory lane, back to when my own son was a baby, and then a toddler, and then a much more adventurous young man. So that's the origin.
That's pretty good. And Laura?
And for me, it's actually a book that I wanted to write to honor my father. And I had an idea that I wanted to use the language of the Pachucos, which is the Calo, which, it's like the words like orale and
Firme.
Firme, Simon, those kind of words. And
Yubole.
that's right, exactly. And my dad used to talk like that, and I wanted to do something with that, but I thought, well, how can I tie it all in? Because I also wanted to, showcase the Mexican American community, and I thought, well, I grew up in Southern California, big car culture, and so Lowriders was it. So that's how it came about.
Well, that ties in so well because this doesn't have a direct correlation to Raul's current book, but it sure does to his graphic novel series, Lowriders, which was the series that introduced me, not knowing anything about lowriders, to the entire car culture. And they just seem so perfect for children's books in some way. So can I ask both of your associations to these fancy, fancy cars?
Yeah, sure. So I was born, I believe where I was raised in El Paso, Texas, and Juarez, which is in Mexico. I believe that the word Pachuco actually originates from that part of the country. El Paso is actually known as El Chuco. That's how we refer to El Paso. We had a great actor in the 50s from Juarez named Tintan, who kind of introduced the Pachuco style to the world. So lowriders and the whole aesthetic, the whole way of being kind of is almost in our DNA, It's as you were saying, Laura, it's the way we speak, the way we dress, the way we create artwork. And so trying to find a way to illustrate that or write that into a book is it's a lot of fun. For me, the approach, of course, was in the tools that I used, and the tools that I used to create the Lowrider series were the big ballpoint pens, which tie in very nicely to how we draw. There's a beautiful art form called pañuelo art, and I was trying to riff off of that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And for me, well, I was born in East LA and grew up in Pico Rivera, and right there on off of Whittier Boulevard, and there was always cruising going on. My parents owned a 1966 Ford Galaxie 500, and my mom that was really her car, and she would take us to school in that thing, and it was a boat, and she would fly over the train tracks. It was crazy. I don't know how she
no
would do
seatbelts.
and all four girls in the back seat, and we'd fly over those train tracks. Of course, you can't do that with the lowrider, but
those are some big back seats too.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, just being around there. I mean, you could go down to Ari's in Montebello, have a burger while you're on Sunday, and you could see the lowriders just cruising down the Whittier Boulevard. So that's my association with that.
That's great. And you both kind of already alluded to your fatherhood and how it sort of relates to your two books, but let's just delve into it. Raul as a father and Laura as your relationship to your father. Like, what is the influence on your books that have come out?
So this is funny. This is actually my second Father's Day book. The first one was a stroller coaster, and that one was written by
Stroller Coaster.
Thank you. That one was
and that has part of a lowrider thing going on too with that stroller.
With the stroller and also the way the father is dressed, and that was a really thank you. That was a really exciting book to illustrate. That was written by Matt Ringler, and when I was approached with the book, I was like, oh my God, how come nobody's ever thought of this before? Right. But I kind of was inspired by that book, working on this one in terms of what fatherhood was like for me, and especially in those early years where I was just trying my best to introduce my son to as much of the world as I could, and that happened through just going on. He liked to call them adventures. Let's go on an adventure, and basically an adventure could be as simple as walking from the house to the grocery store. And so I tried to capture as much of that in this book, showing Coco Rocho with his father, basically walking through the neighborhood that they live in. And I kind of switched it around. I live in Boston now, but I switched it to the world that I used to navigate when I was a little kid, which was El Paso and Juarez. And so you see a lot of desert landscapes. You see kind of the way people dressed in El Paso back when I was a kid.
I love your background characters in that book. They're part of my favorite part. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. There's this wonderful spread that I really like. This two older couple, this older woman dressed like with nothing but frog wear. She's got like a ribbit purse and
is she real? It was like, is she someone you know? Because I saw that person, I was like, that's someone he knows. I don't know.
I mean, absolutely. All of my characters are people that I met in some capacity. A tia with blonde hair, and great makeup. So I was just trying to figure out a way to show how fun it is to, one, be a father, and also how great it is to watch your kid just having a great time as you're taking a walk.
And for me, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but my dad passed away when I was 8 years old of cancer. And the way it happened was, he became gradually more and more sick that he had to go to the hospital. And they put him in the hospital, and both my mom and dad agreed that they didn't want us to see him the way he was. So he went in and we never saw him again. And he passed, and he made a big impact on my life, even though I didn't really get to, have him as a father for a very long time. But just that short time, I mean, it made such an impact in me that I've never forgotten him. And that's one of the reasons, I said I wanted to write this book for him.
One of the things that I love about Lowriders, Laura, I'm sorry to say I haven't yet read your book, but I love that it's also a very collaborative effort to make a lowrider. You do kind of need like a community of people, whether it's the mechanics, whether it's the people helping you with the upholstery, whether it's the people helping you paint the artwork on the actual car. Yeah. Did you have those experiences with your padre?
No, but he was a big car guy. He worked on the car. So I was out there, helping him, giving him tools and stuff like that. He loved cars. Mm-hmm. But yeah, unfortunately we didn't have a lowrider, but we had the next closest thing. And Raul, actually my book doesn't come out until September 8th. So it's going to look like this.
Nice.
So no excuses for not seeing it.
Okay. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
But that ties in nicely to the art, though. I mean, so Laura, your art is by Vanessa Morales, and Raul, you worked with Elaine Bay. So obviously, Raul, you do your own art, but you work with a colorist. And then Laura, I don't know if you were aware of Vanessa's art prior to being paired with her on this book, but yeah, tell us a bit about like for Laura, seeing your art for the first time, and Raul, like just how you work with Elaine, like making the art.
What was it like seeing that artwork for the first time, Laura?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? She did such an amazing job. I was very surprised because there's the scene where they're driving down Whittier Boulevard, and this scene here, where you can see El Arco. I don't know if you're familiar with that, Raul.
I'm not, no.
So this was a big deal. And actually, they just celebrated for their 40th anniversary of putting this thing in. So I was surprised that she actually did her own research. I never put this in. I never put it in. And she's from Mexico, and I don't know if she's ever come to LA or, you know, that area. I don't know if she's familiar with it, but I can tell that she did her research in, you know, finding that, what did Whittier Boulevard look like? So there's another scene where they're at the car show, and you could see in the background, there's like, you could see the mountains in the background, like the San Gabriel Mountains, it looks like. And of course, she put in all palm trees all over the place. And I mean, she did an amazing job. One of my favorite spreads is this one here. Can you see that?
Yes.
She did awesome. And you know what, they you know, gave me a couple of illustrators to look at, and I did look at her website, and I did see some of her art, and I loved it, but she just went beyond what I expected.
And do you even specify where the book takes place in the text?
Yes, because they cruise down Whittier Boulevard. So
so she had that to work off of.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Oh, that's nice, because she could have just half-assed it and been like,
oh my gosh,
palm trees, there, I'm done. Yeah. So, yeah.
So for me, this is, you know, I've been working in this universe for quite some time now. I think this might be like the 15th World of Vamos book.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, so it's really nice to just to go back and explore that world again, refamiliarize ourselves with characters that we've been drawing for, you know, close to a decade now. And Elaine, she really loves working on these board books, because even though they are detailed, they aren't as detailed as as a Vamos book. Yeah. And they are, for the most part, just spreads, you know, so one image over 2 pages. There are, you know, separations, like one panel per page, but they're not as complex. For me, I just really enjoy, as always, finding a way to continue to build that world out, and finding details from some of the past books. Like, oh yeah, I remember I drew a giant catfish in Vamos, Let's Cross the Bridge. Let me draw that catfish, that giant catfish again. There was a rumor that there were Volkswagen-sized catfish in Elephant Beach, so I never forgot that, and so I put him in my book. You know.
I love that stuff.
Yeah, so the burro corn. Let me find another excuse to draw my burro corn, which is basically a burro with a stalk of corn coming out of his forehead. And then any excuse to draw a background character wearing like an over-the-top outfit.
Yes.
And you really can only do that with background characters, because if you did it with a main character, it would
pull focus otherwise.
Yeah, if you did it with a main character, you would always forget to draw the lucky rabbit's foot on hanging from its belt, or the chain, and so your main characters are usually much simpler to draw. And so if I can find a background character to go all out on, then I'm going to do it.
And I should say, you've done so many different formats. Like, you've done easy books, you've done graphic novels, you've done board books. I don't think you've done early chapter books yet, but so
no, but I'm really wanting to do that. I'm
really
working right
you
now
to.
on a I Can Read comic book, which is
nice. Love those. That's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're inching closer to it. That's excellent.
Yeah, and so with Elaine though, you know, she's also from El Paso, Texas, and so she really understands the color of that part of the world that we're working on, and I turn in the black and white artwork, and honestly, I don't see the colors until she's done. She doesn't let me see it. She doesn't want my input. She doesn't want me to bother her. Every once and again, I'll leave a little note like, "Oh, this poster in the back, it should kind of look like a Marlboro cigarette pack." You know, that kind of thing.
You have some poster. I don't remember what it is, but you have some poster in the background in the board book that I was like, "Oh, awesome!" But I don't remember what it was. It was really good. It was like an alleyway, and there was some poster. I don't remember what.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah. So just little references like that. You know,
that's great.
I'll give her a note on. But other than that, she always surprises me with her magnificence. So.
Yep. Yeah. Now, for both of you, I'm just curious from a writerly perspective. How much did the first draft of these books represent like what the final draft looked like? Were there any significant changes, or was it pretty much like the same thing all the way through?
Well, for me, I did have maybe about 20 different revised drafts. But when we went on submission with this version of Lowrider, my editor, Reagan Winter, picked it up, and through the editing process and stuff, she only made like very few little tweaks. So it was pretty much the way it ended up. Mm-hmm.
But you did so then the front half, you did all the edits, and then, yeah, that makes sense.
As for myself, these board books, another reason why I like them is I think I was in and out like in a week or two.
Oh my God.
So
that's the dream. So you're like doing board books to people.
Yeah. So I don't quite remember like what the whole process was. There might have been a couple of like maybe rearranging an image here or there, or the order of something, or I don't really remember, but it wasn't a big, if there were any changes, they weren't all that big.
All right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, talking to you guys is awesome. I have to know, what do you have coming out next? What are you guys working on? What's next for you?
Well, when I sold Lowrider, I actually got a 2-book deal.
Yes.
And so the second book is coming out in 2028 with Disney Hyperion, and it's titled Besos for Mommy. And I'm
mothers.
Yeah. And I'm currently on submission now. My agent, Leah Perry, we're out in submission, and we may have some good news to share pretty soon. So
Inside scoop.
I keep, writing, and, there's several other stories picture book stories that I have that I need more revision on. There's some that are still in my head that I keep, churning and churning, trying to figure out how it's going to work. And I also wrote a middle grade novel. I finished that, and now it's, in the critique process. So as a matter of fact, I have a meeting today with an editor on a critique that I paid for. So
that's awesome.
And then the other thing, so, because I'm promoting the Lowrider for sale, so I'm doing all, setting up dates for book signings. I actually, Raul, you're probably going to like this. I have a meeting on tomorrow, actually, with the Chichmarin Museum.
Nice.
So we're going to try to do something with them. So I'm excited.
Smart.
Yeah, when we did Lowriders, a lot of libraries around the country, they would find the Lowrider Club. And so we would go and we would do book signings, and there would be Lowriders there.
Yeah,
so
that would be so sweet.
Wonderful time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys should exchange numbers.
yeah, absolutely. As for myself, like I just finished. We're working on finishing up Vamos, Let's Go to School, which I think comes out maybe next year. We'll see. And then working on a new Vamos series, which is an I Can Read comic. And the first one will be titled Little Lobo Delivers Tortillas. And then the last thing that I'm currently working on is a Lowriders picture book with Kathy Camper. And so once again,
that's gonna be cool.
I have my big ballpoint pens at the ready. And this
how long does that take you? That must take you forever, I swear.
Yeah, it does. But I have some motivation now because I am no longer the ballpoint pen, the only person working with ballpoint pen. Now there is my friend Matt Cordell, who did I think it was called 102.
Yeah.
Yes, because the kid has a fever, and he drew all of that with big ballpoint pen. So I'm looking at it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did. He uses it's got like 12 colors on it. It's like this thick. I don't even know how
I thought it was pencil. Oh, I thought it was just colored pencil. My goodness.
No, big ball. It's not big ballpoint pen. It's a ballpoint pen.
Well, and I'll say, like on the adult side, my favorite thing is Monsters, that graphic novel series. That's also a little bit. Right? Who lives here in Evanston with me? So there you go. Yeah.
I think our book came out at the same time, Lowriders in Space, and
there's a pairing.
It was pretty great. So working on all of those projects, keeping myself busy. It's a lot of fun.
That's great. Well, thank you both so much for talking to me about your books, your upcoming books, your books that are just coming out, and we're going to look forward to everything else you guys have coming out in the future. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.